Hi, my name is Yani. I'm a nutritionist and a cook. And in the next episodes, we'll be talking about baby-led weaning and complementary feeding, because I know it's a very complex world where you have a lot of questions on where to start and how do I give my baby food, etc., etc. So we'll be going into all of those questions with you guys. Complementary feeding basically is when your baby starts eating solids. So since your baby is born until around 6 months old, your baby only has either breast milk or bottle milk. And around 6 months old, your baby starts eating solids. So that's complementary feeding. And how do you know that your baby is ready to eat solids? Right, so your baby at least has to be 6 months old. It can happen between 6 months old and 7 months old. Another important item to take into account is that your baby is quite solid in his or her structure. Why? Because when they're eating, we need gravity to help to avoid choking. So this is also very important. Obviously, at 6 months old, your baby can't sit by his own means, but if you sit him down, he has to be quite solid. Yeah. Another important thing is that when you are eating in the table as adults, your baby shows interest in the food. If you are eating something with your fork, that your baby is looking, if you have an apple, if you have a banana, that they're actually showing interest in food. And the fourth item that is very important is that your baby doesn't have anymore something that is called extrusion reflex. Sounds really weird, but basically it's something that babies have since they are born until they are around 6 months old, that is to avoid choking with solids. And it's like they make a little curl with their tongue to kind of push out solids. So when they don't have that anymore is when they are also ready to start eating with complementary feeding. BLW, or baby-led weaning, is a method that I love and that I am with a lot of families and patients that are introducing complementary feeding with their babies. And I also did it with my own son. He's 5 now, but when he was 6 months, he started with this method. And baby-led weaning, the basis is self-regulation. So this means that the baby is who chooses how much to eat and what to eat of what you as an adult put in his or her plate. Okay, so that's kind of the base of baby-led weaning. And also something important is that the food is presented kind of like in chunks, not in a mash. Probably adults around my age, around 40, also older, 50, 60, we were raised with mash. So everything was turned into a mash, like squash or potato, banana, everything was a mash. And we were forced with spoons to open our mouth and swallow what we were given. With baby-led weaning, the premises are that the baby can actually choose what to eat and how much. We don't force the baby to open his or her mouth to swallow whatever they have in front. You as mother, father or tutor, it's your role to choose what food your baby eats. It's your role to choose when you go shopping, to choose what you cook and what you give to your baby in front of him. Okay, that's your role. And we'll see in next episodes how to make a complete plate and what to offer your baby. But your role is to do the shopping, to cook the food for your baby, and to put it in front of him or her, up to there. And then your baby will choose of that you put in front of her, what to eat and how much. That is her decision. And that's where we go into self-regulation, which is so important. The benefits of self-regulation are that your baby from a very young age, from 6 months old, will be in contact with his or her real hunger, like physiological, biological hunger, and when your baby is actually satisfied, when he doesn't want to eat anymore. And when they are in contact with this, in the long run, as adults, they will be adults that are in contact with, hey, I'm actually satisfied. I don't want to eat anymore. And this prevents so many diseases that we have and are so common nowadays, like diabetes, like hypertension, like overweight, obesity, and a big, etc. So you're actually giving so many benefits as a baby, but also as adults. Wow, so you must be thinking, okay, so the baby does everything, and what do I as mother or father or tutor do with complementary feeding with baby-led weaning? So your role as responsible adult is to buy the food that is going to come into your kitchen and that you're going to cook and give to your baby. So that's a super important role. So you are going to choose actually what to give your baby to eat, but up to there. So you might cook some things, or you might cut some things to put in front of your baby, and then you have to let go. And then your baby is who decides what to eat and how much to eat in that moment. Your baby, obviously, to start eating and in every one of the meals has to be with a clean nappy or diaper. Doesn't have to be super tired. If your baby is tired, don't force him or her to sit down and to eat. But if that's all check, and if he or she is not thirsty, then you sit him down, you put the food ahead of him, and that's it. He chooses what to eat and how much. So I hope this information was useful for you. We'll be talking about so many things in the next episodes, but we'll be going to the practical part. I'll be showing you how to cut the food with baby-led weaning method, how to cook the food, and obviously also talking about the different benefits of each one of the food and fruits and veggies and meats and everything. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next episode. Bye bye.